Qin Shao stared at the scene outside the window, feeling his head still dizzy. Qin Shao really hadn't seen the scene outside the window for many years. The familiar alleys, Master Wang's sewing booth here, and Master Li's car repair booth there, have been buried in his memory for many years. And what is more indelible in his memory is the furniture in the room. He remembers it very clearly. This is the home when he and his sister depended on each other, a small house with only 10 square meters. Memories are very far away. But this memory has always been buried in his heart. Although this hut is very simple, he and his sister Qin Yu lived happily in hardships, stubbornly and warmly. What's the situation? Shouldn't be here. Qin Shao clearly remembers that not long ago, he was still drinking, and he and his comrades were in the Magic City Pearl building, eating meat and drinking wine. In order to celebrate the team's successful promotion to the A-level competition, everyone drank a lot. But now, he is standing here. Standing in this humble hut that carried all his memories of his home, he stared at the scene outside the window in a daze. Suddenly, he saw a figure that would never be indelible in his memory. His sister Qin Yu turned from the street corner. He came out, walked towards him along the alley, saw him in front of the window, and waved. Isn't this a dream? Qin Shao pinched his arm so hard that tears were coming out of his eyes. Thinking back to the time he saw when he took out his phone, all this turned out to be true. He turned out to be reborn just like what was said in the online novel. God actually gave him a chance to do it all over again. For a while, Qin Shao was excited, and the scenes over the years kept flashing in his mind. On this day, my sister Qin Yu got the admission letter from Shoimul University, and in order to raise tuition for Qin Yu, she will also start working like a life-threatening part-time job. 20 hours of 24 hours a day are working on the construction site. In the end, my sister's tuition was enough, but she was exhausted and collapsed on the construction site. When he woke up 3 days later, the doctor told him one thing. After listening to it, he felt like a thunderbolt. After receiving a notice from his construction site workers, Qin Yu was on his way to the hospital. Some of them lost their minds and were hit by a car while running a red light, and died on the spot. After that, Qin Shao's whole person became muddle-headed, and the days passed by day by day. It wasn't until 3 years later that he spent all the compensation that the driver who hit Qin Yu had left him out of humanity, forced to join a game studio to make a living, and played the online game Immortal. At that time, Immortal had been in operation for more than 3 years. From the initial millions of players online at the same time, it jumped to billions of players online in one fell swoop, and this number continues to grow. There is a great momentum for national games. The jaw-dropping popularity naturally means a huge advertising effect. There are billions of players there. This is a huge market, which makes the world's major companies rush to enter Immortal, sponsor a guild or teams, or even directly set up their own guilds and teams. Of course, the game itself is a hugely profitable industry chain, and the transaction amount of virtual goods has reached a terrifying amount, even world-class chaebol will be moved by it. In the virtual world of Immortal, there has always been unlimited business opportunities. The best equipment and high-end props can be sold for prices comparable to real luxury cars and luxury houses. And the professional team players have a lot of income, which is not inferior to the celebrities of traditional sports. According to Global Economy, since the server was launched, the total transaction volume of virtual goods transactions completed by the game's own trading platform has exceeded the 20 trillion mark. Comparable to the annual fiscal revenue of a developed country. According to the official statistics of Forbes, among all Immortal professional players, the player with the highest game-related income is the captain of this level team Longxiang Jushan, whose worth has reached 1.07 billion. In short, there are countless players who have made their fortunes with Immortal, and there are many people who have become millions or even billionaires. Even if it is just a life professional player, as long as they are conscientious, it is not a problem to have a good life. Qin Shao and his younger sister Qin Yu have lived with each other for those years, and frantically moving bricks in order to survive brought him a strong motor nerve, which was brought into full play in this high-fidelity game connected by brain waves. Soon after joining the studio, he showed great talent. In the second year of entering the game, he was attracted to the team by scouts. He helped the team enter the B-level competition with his excellent performance. The next year is to enter the A-level Professional League. After that, there is no such thing. When he and the team members celebrated and had a drink, he somehow returned to the present before the server of Immortal was launched www.mtlnovel.com when his sister Qin Yu had just received the admission letter. Qin Shao didn't care why he was able to live again, but he knew that the same tragedy would never happen again, and he would have another chance to fight for everything that belonged to him. Although he has lived a new life, he also has self-knowledge. He is by no means the material for doing business and playing politics, nor for being a great prophet. Even if he knows the general trend of world development in the next 5 years, it is impossible for him to be here. Top these areas. And the field he is most familiar with and good at is in Immortal. Qin Shao can't reach the top in reality, but he has a clear understanding of the game's trend over the years. When will the materials rise or fall, the customs clearance strategies of all the dungeons, the tactical play of the world bosses, the triggering of hidden missions, all are recorded in his mind at this moment. When Immortal was launched, he entered the game for the first time. With the advantage of his own rebirth, he monopolized, accumulated materials, and scrambled for the first kill. He could definitely build a reputation, win over some famous players in the previous life, establish his own guild, and then make it a Huaxia district as even a world-class top-level guild, and its subordinate teams will naturally be super-luxury top-level lineups. A person's strength is limited, but if there is a strong guild as the backing, it will definitely not be a problem to cut a large piece of the big cake of Immortal. All of this will completely change the life situation of him and his sister Qin Yu. Let Qin Yu live a prosperous life that she can only imagine in her heart but dare not ask for it, and Qin Shao himself can fulfill his dream of the last life, traverse this class professional league, and stand on the top of the immortal world. Brother, I got admitted. The best Shoimu University in the country. Qin Yu's excited voice sounded in the hut. Qin Shao then came back to his senses, took the admission notice from his sister, and said with admiration, I knew that my sister is the best, let's go, brother will take you to have a good meal. Long live my brother. Qin Yu readily agreed and muttered, I want to eat roast duck, beef with sauce, shredded chicken. Forget it, bro, you can take me to eat whatever you want. Qin Shao's heart felt sour when he heard the words, this is his good sister Qin Yu, she obviously has so many things to eat, but she still obediently considered the problem of her family's poverty. Holding back his tears, Qin Shao fondly patted Qin Yu's little head and said, our little girl has been admitted to Shoimu University. This is a memorable day. Come on, brother will take you to the restaurant for a meal. But, what about my tuition fees? Qin Yu asked weakly. Among the admission instructions that came with the notice, there was one item about the high tuition fees. Although there was a mention of student loans, it was also there is still a total of nearly 5,000 yuan in miscellaneous payments. Regarding the question of money, Qin Shao waved his hand and said, what are you afraid of? You and I are still there. When have I disappointed you? Qin Yu was still full of disbelief. After all, 5,000 yuan was not a small sum for this family. Qin Shao didn't have any skills, so he could only do some physical work. After 1 month's wages were removed from the tuition fees he had saved for Qin Yu, he would only have more than 1,000 points left if he died. Because of the tuition fee in the last life, this celebration feast has also shrunk to a half-cooked roast chicken and 2 steamed buns. She took out her wallet, and there were still 200 yuan in it. In the past, this would be the living expenses of Qin Shao and his sisters for 2 weeks. But now, Qin Shao intends to use all the money for this celebration banquet. The celebration banquet was 150. Although it was not many, To Qin Yu, this meal was the best thing she had ever eaten in her life. Qin Shao ordered a lot for her, and she usually didn't dare to think about it. The dishes made her feel a little unreal. "Brother, tell me honestly, how much money do we have?" Qin Yu finally asked this question on the way home. Qin Shao, however, let out a ha-ha, and said, "Shan Ren has his own plan, and he will never let you suffer with me in the future. Today is just the beginning." Qin Shao spoke these words with great confidence. He looked at the LED advertising screen not far away. A promotional advertisement about Immortal was playing on it, and there was a countdown to the server opening in the lower right 2 days. The next day, Qin Shao went out early, carrying the property certificate of the hut, which was left for them by the kind old man who adopted him and Qin Yu. He decided to use this to make a loan to the bank. In this era, if the real estate is used as collateral, the loan is immediately reviewed and released. In a short while, Qin Shao's bank card has an extra 50,000 yuan. This is also the confidence of Qin Shao's words before. If it was in the past, he would not dare to touch the loan. But now, Qin Shao doesn't have any pressure to pay off the loan. As long as he is allowed to enter Immortal, the most conservative estimate is that he can get it done within a week. "I spent 10,000 to buy a low-end Immortal access device, and bought 2 ordinary mobile phones." Qin Shao went to a place a little far away from home to find an ordinary apartment. It is possible to play games at this stage. If you can't come in front of your sister, that's not doing the right thing, it's going to turn the world upside down. After finishing all this, it was already afternoon. Qin Shao went home, handed the bank card to Qin Yu, and said, "I deposited it in your name, there are 30,000 in it, it was given by my boss, you can take it first. Use it, but remember to leave the tuition fee." "Ah!" Hearing this, Qin Yu was startled, her small mouth opened into an oval, she couldn't believe what she heard was true. Qin Shao had already anticipated this problem, and immediately explained, "I picked up a bag yesterday, and there was a lot of money and some materials in it. I struggled for a long time, and finally decided to return the bag to the owner, then but a big boss thinks your brother and I are sincere enough, so he asked me to work under him. Today I talked to him about your tuition fees, and he gave me 30,000 without saying a word." For Qin Shao's miraculous experience, Qin Yu accepted it with suspicion, and took the card. Qin Shao continued, "The big boss wants to take me on a business trip, and the plane will take a while. Don't worry, I will definitely be back before you report." With that said, Qin Shao took out the cell phone he just bought and handed it to Qin Yu, "Call me if you have anything. My number is already stored in the phone book." After speaking, Qin Shao pretended to pack up his clothes, and left the house like a thief amid Qin Yu's thousands of urgings. As for Qin Yu's side, he is very relieved. The current social security environment is quite good. With the character of the little sister, he will not cause trouble, and there will be no accidents. Standing downstairs, Qin Shao glanced back, and Qin Yu was standing in front of the window watching him, so he raised his hand and waved, thinking in his heart, "Little sister, I'm sorry, brother is doing this for our better future." What? Taking a taxi to the apartment, Qin Shao went to the supermarket to buy a bunch of convenience food and a few boxes of mineral water. This is his life guarantee these days. Entering the rental house, Qin Shao started the debugging of the access equipment. Although the server has not yet officially launched, he can enter a small personal scene, which can be regarded as allowing players to adapt to the virtual fantasy in advance. After debugging the equipment, Qin Shao took out a notebook and began to write and draw with a pen. He was recalling some of the pre-game posts he saw on the forum in his previous life, and combined his own experience to make a short-term plan. For a long time, a burst of alarm bells interrupted this plan, which means that the day will end in 5 minutes, and the epic-making god-level virtual game Immortal will also officially start at 0 o'clock in the new day. Open service. So Qin Shao was equipped with a virtual device again www.mtlnovel.com and entered the server opening waiting state, closing his eyes and resting. Suddenly, a majestic and soul-stirring music played. Qin Shao opened his eyes, skipped the introduction, and came to the interface before the game started, ready to create new characters. Welcome to the immortal world. Please enter your citizen identification number. Qin Shao skillfully reported his citizen identification code. Binding your brainwaves to your identity information, the game account is created successfully. Note, this game account is unique. Whenever you log into the game, the system will automatically scan your brainwaves and log in directly to this account. Let's start the game character creation. Note, each person can only have one game character at the same time. After the current game character is deleted, a new game character cannot be created within 1 month. Qin Shao quickly reported a series of messages without hesitation: human race, random and parallel fine-tuning of appearance and body size by 5%, professional stalker, the name of the game is all over again. These races and occupations belonged to Qin Shao's last life. He firmly believed that familiar races and occupations could help him go further. As for the name of the game, it was a commemoration of God giving him a chance to come back again. The character was created successfully. Welcome to the Eternal Continent and start over. With the soft and beautiful female voice echoing in his ears, Qin Shao's eyes flashed, and then he appeared in the novice village. Ding! Congratulations, you are the first player in the world to enter the game. You have obtained a set of excellent novice equipment, luck +1, and world reputation +100. Hearing the system prompt coming from his ear, Qin Shao secretly sighed, the ancients honestly don't deceive me. The faster you enter the game when you start the server, the better the reward. The novice equipment is second, this will be replaced in a short time. Even if it is a sophisticated level, it is only a little bit higher than the attributes of others. The important thing is the luck attribute of that point and the world reputation of 100 points. Needless to say, the luck attribute affects various odds in the future game, and the world reputation affects the recognition of the player character by the NPC. The basic values of these two attributes are both 0, and their acquisition is extremely difficult. Except for some special events, there is almost no way to improve them. While sighing at the reward, Qin Shao also dressed the novice's equipment neatly, wearing a black leather armor and a dagger with a cold light on his waist. Sophisticated novice equipment is naturally better than other novice equipment in terms of appearance. The equipment is divided into weapons, helmets, shoulder armor, breastplates, leggings, gloves, shoes, cloaks, necklaces, 2 rings, and 1 accessory. Novice equipment only has 5 pieces of weapons, breastplates, leggings, gloves, and shoes. The equipment quality from low to high is gray rough, white common, green excellent, blue excellent, purple epic, orange legend, red holy artifact, black artifact. Calling out the character interface, Qin Shao's attributes at this time are: name, come over again level, 0 health, 140/140 energy value, 100/100 armor, 15, provided by equipment, improve the physical defense of characters, the same level of plate armor, mail, leather, cloth provides armor value ratio of 4:3:2:1, shield can provide a lot of armor. Endurance, 10+4, increase the character's HP, each point of HP increases the maximum HP by 10 points, and the profession specializing in protection is 15 points. Strength, 7, increase the physical damage and weight of the character. All equipment has weight when equipped, but not when placed in a package. Agility, 8+6, increase the character's movement speed and physical crit rate. For agile occupations, agility can also increase physical damage. Intelligence, 0, increase the character's spell damage, maximum mana, and magic defense. Each point of intelligence increase has a blue profession's maximum mana of 15 points. Spirit, 0, increase the character's mana recovery speed and spell crit rate, and slightly increase the character's resistance to abnormal status. For the healing profession, the spirit can also improve its healing effect. Luck, 1, affects various probabilistic events of characters. Characters with luck attributes can play a lucky strike/healing/defense that triples damage/healing/defense. Physical attack, 1321, determined by related attributes and currently equipped weapons. Attack interval, 1.3 seconds, determined by related attributes and the currently equipped weapon. The sum of the 5 basic attributes of endurance, strength, agility, intelligence, and spirit for each newly born character is 25 points. Among them, physical strength is fixed at 10 points, and the remaining 15 points are randomly allocated to the remaining 4 attributes. Qin Shao's luck was very bad. Strength and agility were given 7 points and 8 points respectively, while intelligence and spirit, which were not very useful to stalkers, were not at all. Every time a character upgrades, they will get 10 attribute points, of which 5 points are automatically assigned to each attribute plus 1, and the remaining 5 points are used by themselves. The energy value is consumed by the stalker's occupation to cast skills. The initial upper limit is 100 points. After consumption, it recovers 10% per second. It is extremely difficult to increase the upper limit of the energy value. Qin Shao's last life was only 105 points. As far as he knew, the thief for the sky, known as the King of Thieves, was only 120 points. Looking at his initial attributes that defy the sky, Qin Shao couldn't help screaming in the sky. He was reborn, and he even had a transfer. In his last life's account, 10 points of his initial attributes were allocated to intelligence and spirit. With this sky-defying initial attribute, coupled with the reward for being the first to enter the game, Qin Shao has already gained enough confidence to make a name for himself in Novice Village, and to win is to win at the starting line. And in the brief moment when Qin Shao sighed, players refreshed one by one beside him. At this time, players gradually finished the creation of characters and entered the game one after another. At this moment, the Novice Village square exploded instantly. Because there were too many people, the players who entered the game first were also pushed aside by the players who came out later. If there was no protection mode, this would definitely be the rhythm of a stampede event. It is indeed the first holographic virtual online game that dares to be called the second world in history. At this moment, every player was shocked by the incomparably realistic surroundings and the momentum of this crowd of people, and the entire Novice Village square suddenly became buzzing and chaotic. From the booming sales of game access equipment, the Eternal Group had expected a massive influx of players into the server when the server was launched. Therefore, Novice Village has also added tens of thousands of copies in the form of dungeons to divert players and try their best to avoid a situation where players have no monsters to fight. Damn it! This game is really the same as the real thing. Fuck. Don't block Lao Tzu, let Lao Tzu go out. Fuck. What are you squeezing, rushing to reincarnate? Bastard, which little thief dares to take advantage of my mother? I said this, uncle, can you not be disgusting? There's no such thing as a number in this immortality. www.mtlnovel.com. Really, fuck it, it's true, I'm pretending. Everyone was speechless. Slutty thief. Take the claws from the old lady's chest. Hey, this person is too crowded, isn't it, because he has no place to put his hands? A thunder struck, and this dude turned into light and saw God in an instant. I said, sister, don't keep rubbing my ass. No, my little brother has to get off the assembly line and him first. After a period of time, the players finally began to come back to their senses. Old birds with game experience and players who have read the game introduction hurriedly looked for NPCs to pick up quests, while more people rushed outside the village, mighty and mighty. Dang is like a locust crossing the border, killing it when it sees it. Often a monster is attacked by a dozen or 20 players at the same time as soon as it is spawned, which sadly turns into a pile of experience. It wasn't until about 10 minutes later that the speed of new players appearing in the novice village square finally slowed down and stabilized at the rate of one appearing in a minute or two. As for Qin Shao, when he was pushed away by the players who poured into the server, he left the spawn point and received a maximum of 100 free magic bread from the village chief. The planned route ran to the entrance of the village. Magic bread, normal, food, use, recovers 5% HP every second for 20 seconds. Unavailable in combat. To put it bluntly, Qin Shao was the first to leave the novice village. It's true that the quest of the newbie village can give a lot of experience, but it also depends on the efficiency of completion. Even if Qin Shao is a reborn person and knows how to do the quest, he can't stand the crowd. With so many people, task resources are limited, and it would be if the efficiency was so high. The moment he ran out of the village, Qin Shao shouted at the guards at the entrance of the village, "Two eldest brothers, is there anything I can do for you?" Then he didn't care what the two guards answered, and continued to rush forward. Anyway, the system has already given a prompt to trigger the task, so just accept it directly. The Threat of Wild Wolves, Quest Difficulty, S, Objective, go to the eastern woodland to kill the wolf. Description: those wild wolves, another innocent passerby was killed by them today, but we have to stand at the entrance of the village and start over again. Since you want to help, go and destroy these cruel animals. Completion: kill wolves 0/20. Reward: you will get 20 silver coins and 1500 experience points. In Immortal, the task difficulty is S, impossible, A, some challenge, B, need to be taken seriously, C, normal, D, can be done easily, E, you are in bullying. 6 levels. This difficulty is determined by the system in real time, and the determination is based on 3 factors: the current player level, the level of the task objective or task area, and the complexity of the task itself. Like Qin Shao's current task, because the wild wolf as the target of the task has level 5, the system determines that this task is impossible for him to complete at present. A level 0 novice, to fight a level 5 wild wolf, this is not courting death. So the difficulty is displayed as S level. However, the difficulty of this rank is no pressure for Qin Shao. Even if he is given ordinary quality novice equipment, with his professional level skills, he is confident that he can handle it, not to mention that he is wearing a fine quality suit. Novice equipped. When running to the East Woods, Qin Shao opened the skill list. He had to confirm the skills he could use now. Otherwise, if one's consciousness is ahead of its time, and the consciousness moves but does not use the corresponding skills, it will be too funny. The Stalker is born with 2 skills, Stealth and Evil Attack. Sneak, level 1 instant cast, hides the figure of the Stalker, reduces the movement speed by 50%, the stealth effect is cancelled by damage or actively cancelled, and the combat status is unavailable. Cooldown, 30 seconds. Evil Attack, level 1 instant, use the main hand weapon to launch a malicious attack on the target, causing 105% melee damage and gaining 1 combo point. Cost, 45 energy points. Cooldown, 1 second. Requires, melee weapon. Skills are divided into 2 types, upgradable and non-upgradable. The skills that have a level display are upgradable skills, then they can be upgraded through skill points, up to level 10. For example, Stealth, each level up, while increasing the degree of stealth, will also reduce the movement speed penalty by 5%, to the 10th level, the movement speed penalty will no longer exist. However, for skill points, players will only get 1 point for every 5 levels, and only 20 points at level 100, and there are so many skills that can improve the level, so it has to be used after careful consideration. Of course, skill points can also be obtained through some special tasks or by completing a certain achievement. According to the official Immortal, when a player kills any monster, there is a very small probability of gaining additional skill points. Qin Shao doubts this, because he has never heard of anyone getting skill points because of this in his last life. It turns out that when the game first started, the thief's birth skill didn't have a finishing skill. That's really annoying. You can see if the combo point can be used or not. This is a serious waste. Just give any finishing skill. After confirming the skills he mastered now, Qin Shao complained that he passed through the refresh area of hares and wild deer, and came to the plain where the jackals were infested. Hare and wild deer won't take the initiative to attack, so just run over directly, while the jackal is an active attack monster and can only sneak through. While sneaking, Qin Shao passed through the jackal's refresh area without any danger, and stood in front of the wolf-infested woodland. Wild wolf, normal, beast, level, 56 health, 450,550. Since no one has come to trouble these wild wolves yet, the whole woodland is filled with the sound of wild wolves howling up to the sky. If the timid player is a little bit more timid, they will probably be too frightened to go in. In the face of so many wild wolves, Qin Shao did not dare to be too big. He observed the range of the wild wolves' hatred and continued to walk around the forest as carefully as possible. After all, the level difference is placed there, and sneaking is not necessarily necessary. Good to use. Although he is confident that it will not be a problem to single out two wolves at the same time, when wolf monsters are on the verge of death, they usually howl and summon the wolves in the surrounding area. The easiest way to deal with this problem www.mtlnovel.com is to pull the monster far away and kill it, but this is not efficient enough. What Qin Shao is going to use is the method of blocking monsters. In the depths of the woodland, there is a small wooden hut. The small door of the wooden hut can only allow one person to enter and exit. As long as the door is blocked, there will be only one wild wolf to face at the same time. If the other wild wolves wanted to attack Qin Shao, they could only queue up obediently behind because they were blocked in front of him. Usually, they fight like this. They are usually a leveling team. Tanks block the road, and they stand behind to deal with damage and heal. It does not meet the requirements of this tactic at all. But he still did it without hesitation. The reason was actually very simple. He was wearing sophisticated novice equipment and barely met the rigid requirements for defensive ability. And there are only 56 wild wolves around the cabin, which greatly reduces the time of continuous combat, and it can be completely solved before his health is eaten up by the wild wolves. After a while, Qin Shao sneaked to the vicinity of the cabin, and then he took the initiative to cancel the stealth state, and at the same time entered the hatred vision of the 5 wild wolves around him. The 5 wild wolves rushed over in an instant, but Qin Shao didn't rush. He dodged and entered the wooden house. He turned around and stood at the door frame. He raised the dagger in his right hand and assumed a posture to meet the enemy. And the first wild wolf just pounced at this time, blocking the door. As for the remaining 4, although they rushed towards them one after another, they were stopped by the first one. They wanted to attack Qin Shao but had no choice but to let out a low roar in order to disperse it. Their hostility. With Qin Shao's current attack power, he could take out a wild wolf in about 20 strokes, but during this period, the wild wolf would deal a maximum of 20 points of damage to him. At the current stage of the game, it is absolutely impossible to switch to another person. Qin Shao's level as a professional player in his previous life allows him to only receive damage from the flying wolves that are farther away. The bite and claw attack was either parried by him or avoided by him. In terms of attack, since there is only one attack skill of evil attack, there is nothing to say. If the energy value is enough, use it, and if it is not enough, rely on normal attack. But there is one thing to be aware of. Most of Qin Shao's attacks are concentrated on the vital parts of the wolf, and the damage dealt will have additional bonuses. In just 1 minute, the 5 wild wolves turned into white light one after another, and died under Qin Shao's dagger, and Qin Shao's body also flashed with golden light, rising to level 1, and all attributes increased by 1 points, and got 5 free attribute points. Qin Shao directly added the 5-point attribute no-braining to agility. At this stage, improving attack power is the first priority. Strength is an attribute that is automatically added by upgrade. The other attributes will not be added in the future. Late. If the battle that just happened here is seen by other players. To be precise, it is Qin Shao's series of parrying and dodging moves, and most of the attacks hit the vital parts accurately. If someone sees this, will definitely be amazed and shocked, rushing over and bowing, wanting to learn a trick and a half. In previous traditional games, whether or not you will be hit, or whether you can hit others, is determined by the character's dodge and hit attributes. Even if the player stands still, the attack that should be dodged will still be the same. Attacks that are dodged and should not hit will not hit. But in Immortality, these two attributes are cancelled. Dodging and parrying require the player to take the initiative to make corresponding actions. The faster the player reacts, the easier it will be to make similar actions to succeed. Avoid harm. Of course, just being responsive is not enough. You must have a corresponding movement speed, and the movement speed of a character is affected by agility. The higher the agility, the faster the character's movement speed. The easier it is. This is also the reason why Qin Shao, the professional masters of the law system in the last life, will more or less contribute some attribute points in agility. At this stage, the vast majority of players have not yet gotten used to it. The long-range profession is fine. The game provides an auxiliary aiming system. The melee profession is tragic. Most players are using weapons to cut the air most of the time. Know how to use dodge parry to avoid damage. It wasn't until a few months later that some high-level combat images appeared on the forum, and the initiative to dodge and parry was gradually popularized. Since the upgrade returned to full health, Qin Shao ran directly out of the hut, but this time he only pulled 3 wild wolves over. It's possible that he would be killed by a wolf kiss. After all, Qin Shao is not a perpetual motion machine, and there is no wet nurse standing behind him. When his health is almost hit, it is necessary to rest for a while and eat bread to recover. In this way, under the precise calculation of refresh time and skilled combat skills, Qin Shao relied on this forest hut to spawn wild wolves almost non-stop. Without upgrading back to full state, after killing the wild wolf Qin Shao around the hut, he needs to rest for a while. At this moment, the wild wolves around the hut are also refreshed. As for the task of killing 20 wild wolves, he was just trying to do it smoothly, and it took a few minutes to finish it. The reason why I haven't finished work and changed places is because this is a treasure land for leveling up. Before the novice army has killed it, it must be used as much as possible. At first, there were people who rushed to the periphery of the woodland to challenge the wild wolf, but they quickly went back to grab the rabbit, the wild deer, and the jackal. They didn't have the strength to dodge and parry, and it only took a few seconds to die from the wolf's kiss. Even if it is a team siege, the wolf howl when the wild wolf is about to die, and a large group of wild wolves are summoned, it will let them learn to be human in minutes. Only a very small number of teams stayed on the edge of the woodland by pulling one and killing them slowly. So Qin Shao didn't worry that someone would come to harass him at all. He practiced hard here. As the level increased, the speed of killing wild wolves became faster and easier, and the killing process became easier and easier. When Qin Shao stayed here for an unknown time and his level was raised to level 5, a system prompt came out, ding, the regional boss, the King of Wolves, will appear in the depths of the woodland in 5 minutes. Since this is the announcement from the regional boss, the leveling team at the edge of the woodland also got the news, but they just looked at each other, shook their heads at the same time, sighed, and continued to kill the wolf. The wild wolves are so exhausted, still thinking about the King of Wild Wolves? I'm really helpless. As for those players who were still chasing jackals and robbing rabbits on the plain, they had no idea what to do. On the other hand, Qin Shao heard the sound and picked out an arc on the corner of his mouth. It's time to kill after so long. www.mtlnovel.com. Yes, he was just waiting for the king of wild wolves to refresh, and after hearing the system prompt, he killed the batch of wild wolves that were being killed in 3 or 2 strokes, and neatly cleaned up the last batch of wild wolves contributed. Loot, and then use stealth to enter the stealth state. There is only one refresh point for the king of wild wolves, and that is next to a boulder deep in the woodland. Normally, there will be no wild wolves here to refresh. After sneaking to the vicinity of the boulder, Qin Shao took out bread to fill up his blood, and then continued to sit there quietly, closing his eyes and resting his energy to recharge his energy. Next, it will be a tough battle, Oneonan battle against regional bosses. Ow Wu. Not long after, with a demonic wolf howl, a giant black wolf appeared beside the boulder. At the same time, the wild wolves in the entire woodland also screamed up to the sky at the same time, responding to the arrival of the king. And Qin Shao, at this moment, ended his recuperation, opened his eyes and looked at the giant wolf not far away. King of wild wolves, elite leader, beast, level, 10 health, 10,000 physical attack, 200 physical defense, 20 magic defense, 10 skills, detect sneak, claw, bite, leap, howl of fury, howl of morning, summon wolf. Berserk, activate when HP is lower than 20%, increase attack power, attack speed and movement speed by 30%, and decrease defense power by 30%. Looking at the attributes of the king of wild wolves indicated by the system, Qin Shao was secretly shocked. He had 10,000 HP, plus so many skills, and he would be violent. Wouldn't that make people live? Qin Shao is very familiar with these skills, and he knows how to deal with them, but he still feels a little dazed to ask him to challenge now. After all, it can be seen from the blood volume that the design of the boss in this area is he was besieged by crowd tactics against a bunch of people, but now he is the only one here, and he only has one attack skill. As for control skills and life-saving skills, he doesn't know it at all. Now Qin Shao is only level 5, and his weapons and equipment are still the novice outfit he was given when he was born. Although the 25 free attribute points of level 5 are all added to agility, his physical attack is only 23. 34 points, even if he can guarantee that every attack will hit the key point of the Wolf King, if not counting the crit and lucky hit, in front of the Wolf King's physical defense of 20 points, his actual output value is only 15 points about. This will kill the Wolf King with a life value of 10,000, which means that he has to attack at least 600 times, ignoring the time for evasion skills, and the battle time is at least 10 minutes. And he can't die during this period. This is a very difficult job. You know, he now only has 190 health points. This means that he cannot be touched by the Wolf King at all, and if he touches it, he will die, which means that the fault tolerance rate is almost 0. And to carry out such a long period of 0 fault-tolerant battles, as a professional player in his previous life, it is nothing to do, but in this life, he has just been reborn, and his neural response has not yet adapted to this frequency of battles. To be honest, Qin Shao has already had a hint of retreat at this moment. He wants to go back to the novice village to buy some potions, and then come back after learning the 5th level skills, but this time it takes too much time to go back and forth, let alone set foot on the peak. Will your heart be shaken by this? If you want to set foot on the top, you must be fearless. Don't worry, him first. It's faster to die than to run back. Qin Shao's eyes gradually became firmer. After taking a few deep breaths, he took the initiative to cancel his stealth state and charged towards the King of Wild Wolves. The King of Wild Wolves has a boss-level detection and stealth skill, which means that even a 10th level stealth is useless in front of him. 32. The evil attack inflicted a crit. 13. Normal attack. At the moment of contact with the Wolf King, Qin Shao's dagger slid across the Wolf King's neck, causing 2 injuries in an instant, and then twisting his body, the Wolf King's claws fell on his side, just short of hair. With such a distance, he can be hurt. Macro dodge. This is an extreme evasion operation skill, which can maximize the evasion while maintaining the attack rhythm. 1.3 seconds later. 36. Normal attack triggers lucky strike. 17. Evil attack. Extreme output. This is an output technique of using weapons to attack at intervals of stuck weapon attacks, and attacking skills while stuck on the cooldown time and public cooldown time. It cannot waste any attacking opportunity and cause the greatest damage in the shortest time. After the two evil attacks, Qin Shao's energy value was immediately drained. For the next period of time, he could only perform normal attacks, waiting for the energy value to recover automatically. Since Qin Shao has been fighting the Wolf King closely, the Wolf King's usual attack methods are only claws and bites. As for the range skill of flying, no one will give it a pounce in the distance, which is equivalent to abolishing it out of thin air. So, Qin Shao soon got used to this fighting rhythm. The dagger kept flying around the Wolf King's neck and between his eyebrows, taking away the Wolf King's blood. After more than a minute, the Wolf King's HP was rubbed off by 10% by Qin Shao. Ow woo! The Wolf King suddenly stopped attacking, howled, and suddenly, a faint red light appeared on its surface. The King of Wild Wolves has obtained the effect of Furious Howl, 1 layer, increasing the attack power, attack speed, and movement speed by 10%. Duration, 3 minutes. The system also gave skill tips at the same time. Qin Shao felt helpless when he heard it. It doesn't matter if the attack power is improved, if you don't hit it, you will be given for nothing. But the increase in attack speed is a headache. Now it's only increased by 10%. It's okay to say that this is howling every 10% of the blood volume. When superimposed, the attack speed can still be played. After secretly calculating, Qin Shao estimated his own limit, which is the effect of the 4th layer Howl of Fury, which is a 40% increase in attack speed. If it is higher, he will not be able to dodge. This is no longer a technique. The problem is that his agility attributes can't keep up. This means that before stacking to the 5th layer of Furious Howl effect, he must stop his hand and drag enough Furious Howl effect to disappear before he can continue to attack, which will undoubtedly greatly prolong the battle time. Moreover, before the last 20% of the Wolf King's HP is berserk, he can't have even a layer of Furious Howl effect on his body, otherwise, the Wolf King will be furious and howl again, directly reaching a 50% or more attack speed increase. www.mtlnovel.com exceeds Qin Shao's current limit, so there is nothing to say, you can just give up. Basically, Qin Shao can kill 10% of the Wolf King's health in 1 minute, but if you want to stop outputting and wait for the effect of Howl of Fury to disappear, the waiting time is about 2 minutes. Another minute passed. Qin Shao lost 10% of the Wolf King's HP again. The Wolf King roared in the sky again, gaining the 2nd layer Furious Howl effect, and his attack speed increased again. Qin Shaoyi frowned, his figure quickened, and he kept up with the new rhythm. 70%. The Wolf King howled for the 3rd time. This time, the sound of howling was different from the previous two. Qin Shao was overjoyed. Randomly cast 1. You are affected by the effect of Morning Howl, layer, the damage result is reduced by 5%, duration, 3 minutes. Sorrowful Howl doesn't actually have any significant effect at this stage. It could have dealt 20 points of damage and reduced it by 5%, but it was only reduced to 19 points, so there's no need to pay attention to it at all. 60%. The Wolf King howled for the 4th time, and it was still a howl of grief. Qin Shao smiled slightly. He was lucky. 50%. The Wolf King made a strange howl. It was neither a howl of rage nor a howl of sorrow. This time, the howl was continuous and long, lasting as long as 30 seconds. Qin Shao's state was also obtained because of this. Resting and recovering, this instantly doubled his confidence in victory. When the strange wolf howl for half a minute ended, 2 wild wolves appeared behind the Wolf King. This summoning skill may be a headache for others, but in Qin Shao's view, it is not stressful. Of course, Qin Shao did not intend to keep these two wild wolves unkilled. Now, he does not have the wooden house he used to farm the wolves before. He was able to dodge and parry in the face of 3 target attacks. Just tired. Therefore, all of Qin Shao's attacks fell on the wild wolves. The wild wolves summoned by the Wolf King were not much different from the surrounding wild wolves. After a while, they turned into 2 corpses lying on the ground. On the ground. At this time, the Wolf King's effect of Howl of Fury is about to expire. Qin Shao does not need to wait. When the Wolf King's HP reaches 40%, the effect is no longer there. The Wolf King howled for the 6th time, a howl of fury, no pressure, and scored 30% directly. The Wolf King howled for the 7th time, this time it was a howl of grief. Good luck. Qin Shao couldn't help but sighed, this situation is a good situation now, the howl of fury on the Wolf King only needs an extra minute to disappear. Moreover, the howl of grief on his body also disappeared once, and now only has a 5% debuff. After hitting the Wolf King's HP to 21%, Qin Shao stopped attacking and focused on parrying and dodging. 1 minute passed quickly, and the furious howl effect on the Wolf King disappeared as expected. After taking 2 deep breaths, Qin Shao scored the Wolf King's blood volume by 20%. Immediately, the size of the Wolf King increased in size, the whole body glowed with scarlet light, and he entered a state of rage. Ow woo! At the same time as entering a state of frenzy, the 8th howl came. This time, the goddess of luck did not favor Qin Shao, and the howl was a howl of rage. I'm so ho. Qin Shao couldn't help but scolded him loudly, adding a furious howl to the berserk state, which increased the Wolf King's attack speed and movement speed by 40% in one go. Reached the limit he could handle. This means that he needs to wait for the effect of furious howl to disappear again, so how can he be relieved? However, scolding, what should be done? Qin Shao's nerves were tense, and he survived these difficult 3 minutes. 10. The Wolf King let out the last howl, but it doesn't matter what the howl was this time. As long as Qin Shao didn't have an accident, his sacrifice would only be a matter of time. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. The damage numbers continued to appear on the Wolf King's head, and finally hit its blood volume to the bottom. With the terrifying damage of the last 102, the Wolf King finally came to an end with a cry of grief, fall to the ground out of breath. Critical attack plus lucky evil attack, if you die in this move, you can be considered a good death. Qin Shao sat on the ground and looked at the Wolf King corpse lying on the ground. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. The high-intensity battle for nearly a quarter of an hour was over, and a severe sense of fatigue struck immediately. Regional Boss King of Wild Wolves dies, you gain 20,000 experience points. Ding! You've risen to level 6. Ding! You've risen to level 7. Leapfrog single-handedly killed the regional boss of the King of Wild Wolves, and the massive experience was exclusive to one person, which made Qin Shao rise to 2 levels in an instant. Just before he had time to add points, another system prompt flashed, ding! Congratulations, you became the first player to kill the regional boss, the King of Wild Wolves. Your glorious deeds will be recorded in the annals of immortality. Will you publish your name for the world to admire? Qin Shao was stunned when he heard the sound. It's just a regional boss in a novice village, and he actually has a first kill? In the last life, he entered the game too late, and he didn't join a top-level guild. Naturally, the first kill had nothing to do with him. Even if it did, he watched others on the World Channel get the first kill. So this system prompt was the first time for him. After thinking about it, Qin Shao chose no. Although he planned to make his name in the early stage of the game, this kill was too brutal. This is something that the whole server needs to announce, so it's better to keep a low profile. Well, he didn't want to be targeted by others. Immediately, the system began to flash red. Server announcement, an unknown player killed the boss in the novice village area for the first time, the king of wild wolves, China, and this glorious deed will be recorded in the annals of immortality. Please cheer for him. System reward, Gold plus 20, EXP plus 10,000, World Reputation plus 100, Skill Point plus 1. The effect of swiping the screen with red characters 5 times in a row is absolutely shocking. Players in the entire Chinese region know that there is such a nameless player who alone killed the regional boss of the novice village, the king of wild wolves, and at the same time received such a generous reward. Ding! You've risen to level 8. Qin Shao was completely surprised by this. Looking at the server announcement on the World Channel that he had repeatedly swiped 5 times, even if he didn't announce his name for everyone to admire, he still felt a little overwhelmed. After struggling for a while in his heart, Qin Shao Ki finally turned his gaze to the corpse of the king of wild wolves, and wanted to touch the corpse to get the spoils. On the other hand, the system suddenly sent out 5 consecutive server announcements to swipe the screen in red, which immediately made all players in China boil, and countless local tyrants handed over a gold coin and chatted on the world screen, "Wife, come out and see God. Damn it, I forgot to fight the monster when I read the news, and was beaten to death by the monster. Great God, please communicate. Please. This should belong to our village. The regional boss that I heard about not long ago is about to appear. Upstairs www.mtlnovel.com. Is there any announcement about the appearance of the regional boss? Same question, I haven't seen it before. I live in the same village as the main force of the Sword of Domination, and I said that I haven't seen it before. I live in the same village as the main force of Swift Wind, and I said that I haven't seen it before. Stupid 13, I'm from the same village as the main force of Xing Chen Dream. I just heard that the regional boss will appear in 5 minutes. By the way, when will the bosses decide to fight the Wolf King? Worshipping the stars and dreams, but it's not their first kill. I can't even beat the wild wolf, so someone has killed the king of wild wolves. Did you make a mistake? There is only one unknown player. Could it be that he was singled out? This Nima must be open. The 5 members of our team are all dressed in the same equipment, but killing a wild wolf is difficult. How can the king of wild wolves be singled out? GM, come out and give an explanation. We want to be fair. We want to be fair. Don't make trouble. Where does the immortal GM come from? If you want to be fair and just, speed upgrade is the kingly way. That's right, level up and grab the first kill. How to level up? There are more people than monsters. You can imagine that as a mage, I have never used a spell until now. Frostbolt casts a spell in 2 seconds, and Fireball in 3 seconds. How can you grab a monster? Hit it with a staff. Walking by the priest who was forced to knock with a staff. Walking by the hunter who was forced to hit with a bow. Not long after Qin Shao killed the king of wild wolves, someone posted a question on the forum, saying that he deliberately sneaked over to find the king of wild wolves, and found that his blood volume reached 10,000 points. He is a level 6 stalker. Kneeling directly after being hit. At the same time, he also posted the attributes of the king of wild wolves, as well as the screenshot of him being scratched to death by a claw. This post became popular in an instant, and there were countless follow-ups at a time. Everyone was talking about it, shooting at the official, asking whether there were plugins and bugs. Not long after, the official locked this post to prohibit replies, and at the same time forcibly added a 15th floor, and said, according to the backtracking of the game data, the behavior of the player who killed the king of the wild wolf for the first time was normal, and the first kill was valid. At the same time, the official also released the whole process video of Qin Shao killing the king of wild wolves. However, because Qin Shao chose not to publish his anonymity, he was blurred in the video, and the audience could only vaguely tell that this was a man using a dagger. Male player. As soon as the video was released, the entire forum immediately exploded. With such elegant macro dodging, such precise death parry, and such extreme damage creation. Is this Nima still human? What the hell, we're not playing the same game. After watching this video, countless players immediately regarded this nameless player as a and worshipped him. And a few elite players found clues in this video, and began to try to dodge and parry actively in the game, and immediately improved their operations to a new level. In this regard, Qin Shao could only laugh, but he never thought that his first kill would cause such a shock. The screen returns to the moment when Qin Shao touched the corpse. Reaching out and touching it, the spoils dropped by the King of Wild Wolves appeared in front of Qin Shao in the form of a list. Excellent, plate armor, 15 stamina, 5 strength, 5 equipment requirements, level 10, strength 25, fine, mail, armor, 3 stamina, 5 agility, 5 equipment requirements, level 10, strength 10, fine, dagger, attack power, 1826 stamina, 3 agility, 7 chance on hit, increase own damage by 5% for 10 seconds, non-stacking. Equipment requirements, level 10, strength 20 warriors and knights wear plate armor, hunters and shamans wear mail armor, stalkers and fighters wear leather armor, and mages and priests wear cloth armor. Of the 3 pieces of excellent equipment that Qin Shao opened, he could only use one, but it wasn't black, because the daggers that could be used were weapons and had special effects. It's a pity that you have to wait until level 10 to use it. In addition to the 3 pieces of equipment, at the bottom of the loot list, there is another thing, which is a wolf skin. Fine, material of manufacture, description, this is the pelt of the Wolf King. The fur of the King of Wild Wolves was actually Qin Shao's most important trophy this time, because this fur was involved in a hidden event. If you have the fur of the Wolf King, and carry the lucky rabbit's feet and the stomach of a jackal, you can trigger a hidden event in the village's cobbler, Scott, who will make an epic cloak for the player Lucky Cloak. Most of the low-level epic equipment will become garbage or collectibles as the player's level increases, but this cloak is different, it can definitely be used for a lifetime. As far as Qin Shao knows, this is the only piece of equipment that can increase the luck value. Even though the stomachs of lucky rabbits and jackals produce a lot in front of a huge base of people, only the first one in each region can collect them all. Only players with one set can find a cobbler for processing, and only one piece. This means that the entire immortality, 10 regions, will only produce 10 pieces. In the last life, many big guilds spent hundreds of millions to buy such a cloak from remote areas, just for this lucky value. Obviously, a little more luck means more time to touch a corpse. Taking the chance to find better loot can also bring faster equipment accumulation to the team, and the faster the equipment accumulation, the faster the dungeons will be knocked down and cleared. Qin Shao, who knew the value of the lucky cloak, naturally had his eye on this hidden event for a long time. Of course, he didn't want to sell it, but to use it for himself. If you are lucky, it will only be too little rather than too much. After receiving the spoils into the backpack, Qin Shao entered a stealth state. At this time, someone began to touch the depths of the woodland. Since the name is hidden, it is better not to be discovered. The less trouble, the better. Enduring the 50% movement speed reduction while sneaking, Qin Shao left the woodland and continued to walk forward a little. Seeing that there were more players around, he quickly released the stealth state and ran towards the village. He trotted back to the entrance of the village. Qin Shao handed over the task of killing the wolf by the way, and stood there after getting the reward. Glancing at the backpack, Shenma's damaged wolf skins and intact wolf skins were beaten a whole lot, and with a little luck, there were 4 green weapons and 6 pieces of equipment. As for the rough and ordinary quality weapons and equipment, the entire backpack is already stuffed. It's all money, anyway, if you can't fit it, just throw the cheap ones aside, and it won't take a long time. Then, after setting friend application and not receiving messages from strangers, Qin Shao shouted on the regional channel, "Start all over again, sincerely exchange green clothes for lucky rabbit's feet and jackal's stomach." At the same time, I also posted the attributes of the 6 pieces of equipment www.mtlnovel.com. So many people kill level 1 rabbits and level 3 jackals here, and someone will always hit the stomach of lucky rabbits and jackals, and then use the green outfit for temptation. You won't have to worry about not being able to change it. He is not worried that someone may trigger this hidden event before him. In the last life, the first time someone triggered this event was a month after the server was launched. Although the Wolf King's fur is always falling, but these two things, the lucky rabbit's feet and the jackal's stomach, although the explosion rate is extremely low, their quality is the lowest gray and rough quality. Too lazy to pick it up. As for whether there will be people interested in collecting these two things at the same time because of his shouting on the regional channel, he is not worried. As long as he does not say it, no one will know that the fur of the King of Wild Wolves is still needed, let alone know where to trigger this event. Besides, he is probably the only one who owns the fur of the King of Wild Wolves now. Most people were attracted by the green clothes that Qin Shao posted on the regional channel. After a closer look, they saw that Qin Shao actually wanted to use green clothes in exchange for the gray named garbage like rabbit feet and dog stomach. It was my own mistake. Qin Shao waited for a while and found that no one responded, so he shouted again, "Start all over again, sincerely exchange green clothes for lucky rabbit's feet and jackal's stomach." At the same time, he also posted the 6 pieces of equipment again. Everyone just saw that Qin Shao was going to use green clothes for rabbit feet and dog stomachs. Take it out for the gray named garbage like rabbit feet and dog stomachs? Now I see Qin Shao's green outfit posted in the shouting on the regional channel again, and the regional channel is finally a frying pan. 8 points of youth, aren't lucky rabbit feet gray garbage? I just sold one to the store. Which is regrettable. The cute little loli, I have a lucky rabbit's foot. Change your cloth armor robe. Are you at the gate of Xingxing village? I'll come in a moment. This is a transactional intention. Before your second uncle died, I have the lungs of a jackal, do you want to come down? This is trying to get away with it. Little match-selling girl, boss, what is the lucky rabbit's foot with grey name? I have perfect rabbit feet and white name, only for 2 green outfits. That's being smart. Director of the toilet, damn it, this is a green outfit, it has such good attributes. One piece tops us all. That's an exclamation. Cornucopia number 147 salesperson, Big Brother, do you sell green clothes? You are satisfied with the price package. By the way, our cornucopia is officially settled in Immortal, and new and old customers are welcome to inquire. This is for business. Jagged domineering, boy, do you know about our Jagged family? If you are sensible, hand over all the green clothes, otherwise the Lord will cut you once every time he sees you. This is arrogant in other games. Defying the heavens fighting madness, Jagged can only bully the soft and fear the hard. Do you have the guts to fight Grandpa? This is unfair. After that, the building was completely crooked. The two families, Jagged Blood and Anti-Tien, had been fighting in other games before, but now they exploded in an instant once they were ignited. There are newcomers in the novice village to protect them, and there is a rift between players. It was impossible to fight, but the system couldn't protect it from snoring. The entire area channel was occupied by the two families of Jagged Blood and Anti-Tien, and the quarrel was in full swing. Qin Shao watched the lively regional channel and smiled secretly. It seemed that he still overestimated the explosion rate of the lucky rabbit's feet and the jackal's stomach. Actually, only one player has the lucky rabbit's feet, and no one has the stomach of the jackal. As for other news, apart from those that were not nourishing, there was still one news that caught his attention. In the previous life, Cornucopia was considered the most successful unofficial trading channel in China among the immortals. The number of equipment items handled by them was even more than that of the official auction house. It was quite a business giant. After thinking about it, it was inevitable that he would have to deal with the cornucopia in the future, so Qin Shao took the initiative to add the friend of the salesman number 147. The friend application was approved quickly, and salesman number 147 asked excitedly, "Are you going to sell me all the green clothes?" Qin Shao was stunned when he heard the voice of salesman number 147, and a slender image was automatically generated in his mind. This soft and waxy female voice is very familiar to him. In fact, in his previous life, there are few players in China who are unfamiliar with this voice. There is no other reason. The owner of this female voice is the chief auctioneer of Cornucopia. Thinking in his heart, the famous auction goddess Qian Fei is now just a little salesman who doesn't even have a name. Qin Shao suddenly became a little more amused, but his mouth was very calm, and he said, "Someone exchanged a lucky rabbit foot with me, and the rest can be sold to you, but I have a condition. Not long after the server was launched, I hope to get such a big business." Salesperson number 147 felt stunned by a pie that fell from the sky. It is no longer a dream to get a promotion and a salary increase to have my own name. You must never let this big fish come back, so she replied affirmatively, "As long as your conditions are within my purview, I will definitely satisfy you." Although Qin Shao recognized the goddess of auction in the future, he didn't have any crooked thoughts, and directly said the conditions he had thought of before. "I need your cornucopia to help me collect a jackal's stomach. I will give you within 5 minutes. I'll give you 2 green suits for free, but after 5 minutes it will only be 1. As for the rest of the green suits, I'd like to hear your quotation. I'll give you the full price for the equipment and weapons. I have 4 more weapons. I will contact you directly if I have something to sell in the future." After listening to Qin Shao's condition, the salesman number 147 was overjoyed. This condition is nothing to the cornucopia, so he directly agreed. "Is the jackal's stomach?" "Small problem, as long as you are sure that you have this condition. Things, the rest of the green equipment, I will give you 1 gold piece of equipment and 2 gold piece of weapons. Immortal currency and exchange ratio, 1 gold coin equals 100 silver coins, 1 silver coin equals 100 copper coins. No problem. www.mtlnovel.com. I'll be waiting for you here at the entrance of the village." Qin Shao pondered after listening to the quotation, and then agreed. Although the price is a little lower at this stage, it is better than save trouble, save him the time to sell himself. What's more, this salesperson number 147 will be the auction goddess Qian Fei in the future, so it should be regarded as an investment in advance. It will be done by her in the future. Most of the auction items are sold at a premium. After discussing the business, because he had to wait for someone, Qin Shao stood at the entrance of the village, watching the players outside the village who were having fun robbing rabbits, and smiled secretly. If he hadn't been reborn and came back with technology, maybe he would have been one of these people. After waiting for a while, a little Lolita appeared in Qin Shao's sight carrying a giant hammer bigger than her. She didn't hide her name, but the cute little Loli appeared on top of her head. "Li! Who did you come over again? That uncle who didn't show his name, is that you?" Little Loli's crisp voice sounded in Qin Shao's ear, and Qin Shao finally realized that he had said a hidden name, and those who were not friends or team members would not be able to see the name. He murmured in his heart, "I'm still young, how did I become an uncle?" And at the same time, he didn't forget to initiate a deal with little Loli and put the cloth armor robe on it. "This is the cloth armor robe you want, take a look at it." "Well, that's right, this is your lucky rabbit's foot." Little Loli put the lucky rabbit's foot in the trading area as well. After the two confirmed the transaction, Qin Shao's bag had a lucky rabbit's foot, and little Loli jumped up happily with the robe. It is said that as long as the two sides reach a consensus on the transaction, it can be done, but now Qin Shao has to wait for others here, and this little Loli is really cute as the name suggests, and no one is following her, so out of good intentions, Qin Shao couldn't help but asked aloud, "That? I'm curious to ask, you're not a soldier, why do you want this cloth armor?" Of course it's for others, such a simple question, you are so stupid, uncle. Qin Shao felt that there was something wrong with his IQ, and was speechless for a while. Little Loli continued, actually, I also really want your plate armor, but unfortunately you only change one, and I don't have the stomach of a jackal. As she spoke, she put on a pair of the pitiful appearance seems to be trying to win Qin Shao's sympathy. Qin Shao looked at little Loli's pitiful appearance. Although she knew it was fake, she couldn't help but think of her younger sister Qin Yu, and there was a hint of tenderness in her heart. In a flash, she was given uncle by little Loli. Woke up. I have such a youngest. You can call me uncle. Qin Shao said angrily. Oh, it's not that old. Little Loli looked at Qin Shao seriously, but turned her head and said, no matter what, you won't give me the plate armor if I call you brother anyway, so I still call your uncle is fine. Qin Shao was speechless again. What is the logic? Does the name have anything to do with the equipment? Have it? Little Loli didn't care what Qin Shao was thinking, and continued, otherwise, uncle, give me the plate armor, and I will introduce my cousin to you. There are many people who want to chase after my sister, but I can't see any of it. Stop! Qin Shao hurriedly made a stop gesture, thinking that if he went on, he might be talking about something else. Little Loli's skills were so profound that he felt a little regretful about why he had to say so many more words just now. Okay, then you agreed to give me the plate armor. Little Lolita suddenly stretched out her hand and said this. No. Give it. Qin Shao pretended to be vicious. He really had no tricks to deal with this little Loli. Anyway, he had never heard of this name in his previous life, so there shouldn't be any intersection in the future. Just run her. If you don't give it, you won't give it. It's fierce. The little Loli asked for the equipment but failed. She pouted and left in a pretentious manner. After walking a few steps, she didn't forget to look back to see if Qin Shao had changed his mind. Seeing the back of little Loli gradually receding, Qin Shao shook his head and smiled bitterly, then put this incident as a small episode. Come again, eldest brother, here I am, behind you. A familiar voice came from behind. Qin Shao looked back, and immediately became a little uneasy. Although the person who came here did not have the noble temperament in the future, he was 100% sure that the current salesperson number 147 was from then on. The auction goddess Qian Fei. She was an unattainable goddess in the last life. Now he is talking to himself with honorifics by his side. Well, hello. Qin Shaoqiang calmed himself down, said hello to the beautiful woman in front of him, and at the same time initiated a deal, threw away all the green outfits, and said, 4 weapons and 5 pieces of equipment. As for the 2 pieces of excellent equipment from the King of the Wild Wolf, Qin Shao did not intend to sell them, at least not now. Otherwise, it would be easy for a discerning person to see that the King of the Wild Wolf was his first kill. Well, wouldn't it be a waste of expression to hide the name so hard before? Salesman number 147 quickly checked the total of 9 pieces of green equipment, and placed 13 gold coins and a jackal's stomach on the trading area, and then confirmed the transaction. Qin Shao was stunned when he saw the 13 gold coins appearing with the jackal's stomach, and asked, didn't you say that there will be 2 green clothes on the jackal's stomach within 5 minutes? With the ability of the cornucopia salesman, it is absolutely impossible to miscalculate the money, but now he has given him 2 more gold coins, and it's okay to change someone else, but the other party represents the cornucopia, so this kind of unclear cheapness he dared not take it. Salesman number 147 smiled sweetly, and said, I gave you the 2 gold coins out of my own pocket. You are a big customer that they finally met, so why do you have to give you some benefits? Qin Shao thought for a moment and accepted this explanation. After all, number 147 is still a small salesman. Facing his big customer, he still needs to find some way to improve his goodwill. At this stage, 2 gold coins for most players, it will be a lot, but for salesperson number 147, at most, the commission for this transaction is not required. Okay, I'll find you if I have something to sell or need in the future. After speaking, Qin Shao didn't talk much with the salesman number 147, so he just said goodbye and walked towards the village. The two of them were actually very busy, one was busy triggering hidden events, and the other was busy continuing to run business. When I came to the tanner's workshop in the village, it was indeed surrounded by water. The reason is very simple. www.mtlnovel.com. No matter who goes to this tanner to ask for a task, he will only say, "This old man is an epic tanner Scott who can make epic equipment." No matter who hears it with this sentence, everyone is bound to become interested in epic equipment, so they can talk to him further, and there will only be one who will end up being kicked out by him. No, just as Qin Shao came over, another person was kicked out of the house. The crowd of onlookers gave way to the man in an instant. If they were hit, there would be collateral damage. Although it was fun to watch the fun, it was not worth the trouble if the pond fish was hit to death. Qin Shao hurried over, twisted his body away, let the man who flew out backwards, and continued to walk into the workshop. He didn't have time to waste here. If anyone else entered, he would have to wait here for a while. Time has come, and Scott will only allow one person into his workshop at a time. This involves another mission, Scott's test. After triggering, he will be chased by Scott for half an hour. During this period, as long as he is kicked or voluntarily leaves the leather workshop, it will be regarded as a failure. If you can successfully survive this half-hour chase, you will get Scott's leather-making experience, so that you can learn leather-making skills in advance, and cancel all the upgrade bottlenecks before reaching the epic level on the leather-making road. For a player who wants to use leather-making as a sideline, or a pure life player, this is undoubtedly the same as an excellent girl for an otaku, and the temptation is extremely great. But Qin Shao didn't have much interest in the sideline business of leather making, so naturally he wouldn't waste time playing with the old man here.